New intro. So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. All right, so right in front of you, you got a woman by the name of Lindy Lee, right? She stated, frankly, I'm more disturbed by his fanboying over Hitler's vacation home, much more alarmed by his calls for American mothers to raise monsters, by his labeling of women as earthen vessels, by his marrying a woman he met through a guy he randomly met at a Russian casino, right? And she's referring to the image of this man here who on IG goes by uh, Madison Cawthorn, right? Quote, the vacation house of the fur. Seeing the eagle's nest has been on my bucket list for a while. It did not disappoint. Strange to hear so many laughs and share such a good time with my brother, where only 79 years ago a supreme evil shared laughs and good times with his compatriots. Right? Notice how he made that comparison in between him and Hitler. And these are the things that I, tried to inform a lot of those quote unquote black women about when it comes to their preferences and their choices, right? You have a lot of them who are into things just like this, where they have these bucket list things where they admire and have admiration for a lot of what people would consider, right? Very evil individuals who have done very evil things historically. And you would have, right, black women deciding that these are the types of guys that they want to procreate with, that they want to have kids with, that they want to get married to. And then when certain things start going awry, when certain things start going wrong, none of them want to take responsibility for the choices that they decided to make and the preference, right, that they chose, that they specifically chose, right? Nobody forced them to do it. Nobody made them do it. Nobody coerced them to do it, right? These are the types of men that they just so happen to like to choose. This is the next image, right? Lindy Lee stated again, the problem with Madison Cawthorn isn't the bra, it's the hypocrisy. It's his attempt to overthrow our government and call for an insurrection. It's his assaulting women and sneaking guns into planes. It's his call for Zelensky, a thug. The problem isn't the drag, the problem is the evil behind it, right? So, yet again, you have this perfect specimen, this supreme warrior, right? You have this preference who you can clearly see, right, has women directly behind him, and he is clearly wearing women's clothes. Now it is 2022. Seiji's not judging. But the thing that I will state is that I'm a little bit baffled and confused when I just so happen to hear women state that, men aren't men, right? That men aren't acting very masculine, right? That men have feminine tendencies, right? But then they say that, and then they just so happen to like and be around, guys like this, and they want to date guys like this. So I'm a little bit confused on what women are exactly talking about. Are you complaining about the guy wearing the stuff, or are you saying it's okay and you prefer? Like I said, it's a lot of, right, mixed signaling and messaging when it deals with women and the quote unquote men that they like to be with or procreate with or different things of that nature. But let's not forget, this is the same exact one yet again who decided to go visit the area of which Adolf Hitler and his compatriots were once at a moment in time, and he decided to make a comparison between him and Adolf Hitler. And then on top of that, That's pretty crazy. Like, he tried to sneak guns onto a plane, or he did. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Because I promise you, with some of the stuff that was at least listed here, if this was somebody who was black and they decided to try to do a number of things here, they would have been on the FBI list. They would have been in some type of federal prison. The phones and everything else would have been tapped. I'm pretty sure they would have, made sure that that person, that black person, would have been in custody at a moment's notice. And last but not least, you have this article here, right? Danger warning: women say Madison Cawthorn harassed them in college, right? BuzzFeed News spoke with more than 3 dozen people, including more than 2 dozen former students, their friends, and their relatives, who described or corroborated instances of harassment and misconduct on campus, in Cawthorn's car, and at his house near campus. Four women told BuzzFeed News that Cawthorn, now a rising Republican star, was aggressive, misogynistic, or predatory towards them. Their allegations include calling them derogatory names in public in front of their peers, including calling one woman slutty, asking them inappropriate questions about their sex lives, grabbing their thighs, forcing them to sit on his lap, and kissing and touching them without their consent. One of these women now works as an intern for another Republican member of Congress and passes Hawthorne in the corridors of the Capitol. According to more than 12 people, including 3 women who had firsthand experience and 7 people who had heard about these incidences from them at the time, Cawthorn often used his car as a way to entrap and harass his women classmates, taking them on what he could call fun drives off campus. 2 stated that he drove recklessly and asked them about their virginity and sexual experiences while they were locked in a moving vehicle. And this is when I say it gets to the point of, covering certain things that I just don't seem to care anymore, because, you can give so many warnings to people. You can give so many examples to people. You can, in a sense, show how detrimental, a variety of individuals are out here. But yet, when it just so happens to come to people's preferences, they don't want to hear none of this information. They don't want to look at this. They don't want to look at the potentiality or the probability of, them potentially selecting the wrong person and inevitably losing their lives. So here we are, where you have this guy who is a Republican, who is, a part of government. And of course, he's around women, and you have women that have told stories of the things that he has done and how he has, tried to ask them very personal questions and a variety of things like this. All I'm saying is, I know that there's a divestor out there that will sit up there and snatch him up, and that won't have a problem with any of these stories, because they will say that, oh, well, that was their woman, that was those women, those were their experiences. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have those experiences. This is not going to happen to me. I'm different, and all this other jazz, right? But yet, these are the exact same individuals who would turn around and say that they care about the sisterhood, they care about, women and women's lives, and, they're against, misogyny and predatory behavior when it comes from men. But more specifically, I'm sorry, they care about it more if it comes from black men. If it comes from by way of one of their preferences or any other men of a different ethnicity, realistically, they're not going to care. At the end of the day, they're just not going to care, and they're not going to bring it up. So yet again, this is one reason why stories like this, it's not pushed directly to the forefront. It's not pushed on a 24, 48 hour, 72 hour, rotation, so that people can absorb the information and know the type of individual that is out there, that around their daughters, their mothers, their wives, their, nieces, and like I said, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It is what it is, because, you can only care so much for people who realistically don't care about themselves.